Hey there, guys. In this episode of Are We Podcasting Yet? We're going to be talking with our dear friend, Singaporean actor and comedian Keyshawn. We're going to chat a little bit about what's going on with COVID-19, because that's still happening. And we're going to chat about the entertainment scenes in Los Angeles and in Singapore. We're going to talk a lot about acting. We're going to talk about Keyshawn's first acting experience. And we're going to talk about some audition tips, some different styles of acting, when to go big, which is something Keyshawn loves to do. And we're going to chat about different ways that one could possibly improve the entertainment scene in Singapore. Keyshawn's going to go ahead and handle that question, though. Join us. It's going to be a good one. Action! Hey, everybody. Welcome to Are We Podcasting Yet? The podcast where Alan and I are trying to figure out if we're podcasting. Do not interrupt the podcasting intro.
Again, do the intro again.
We should have left him in the waiting room and only allowed him on when we were ready.
No, I'm always ready. You get me on the moment you fucking start. You don't put me at the back. What am I going to do? This
is the first time we've been heckled by our own guest on our show.
That would have been great.
Oh, trust me. I've been heckled by Justin Breton all my fucking life.
Yes. Even to this day. How would you like me to introduce you, Keyshawn? Because I still don't know.
Yeah. In fact,
you get me on your show, and you don't know how to introduce me?
I'm confused as to what you
did ask.
Well, I know how I would introduce you, but I feel like that might upset you. So I want to know how you would introduce yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see me in all sorts of screens. You see me on your computers, your TVs, your laptops, and your mobile phones. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitch now, and I've done a couple of TV shows starring Ellen Wong as well. I've never acted with Justin Breton because he's a terrible actor who apparently can't keep his own wardrobe. But that's how we do it in Singapore. And my name is Kishan, and I'm great to be here. That can or not?
Yes, double time. That was perfect. That's right. To all of you.
Actor, host, social media personality, if anybody's watching.
If you're looking to have people tune out of the podcast before we even start, that's a great intro.
That would be for a different guest. Trust me. I can introduce you to some other boring guests.
I think this is going great so far. But so everyone who is, if you're still listening through our entire introduction, welcome back to another episode of Our Podcasting. We're super excited to have one of our really good friends. He's already introduced himself, but guys, Keyshawn is here to hang out with us. We're super excited to have him here. And yeah, Keyshawn, what's going on with you, man? You said you were twitching now, which I didn't realize. What's going on Twitch with you, man?
I just started. Apparently, gaming is a thing, and then I realized,
who knew?
You know, what's the point of watching? Yeah, who knew? And then, what's the point of watching serious gamers, right? You're gonna watch the same game over and over again. So I thought I'd bring comedy to gaming. So I'm calling it the Gundu Gamer because I can't play shit. I played Valorant yesterday. Have you heard of this game?
I have heard of it.
Have you heard of Valorant? Yeah, so it's like a Counter-Strike kind of game, but then there's like extra abilities that each character has, and you gotta grasp all of that in. And I couldn't. I just died every round, but it was entertaining to watch. So I was like, oh, okay.
You're enjoying it.
I'm enjoying dying and making fun of my players at the same time. So that's my channel. So I just make fun of the game.
What console are you on? What are you playing on?
What console am I on? I'm on a PC, so I just set up my whole rig. So as you can see, this is the background for gaming, right? All my toys are here.
So Keyshawn, why did you decide to sell out and begin pandering to the video gaming community?
I mean, what better way to work from home and entertain people? What better way? You're doing what you like, which is gaming, and you can't get out of the house. So you stay home and you entertain people from home while gaming, and then you just talk to them and then make them feel like, you know, they got friends as well. So I was like, okay, I'll be your voice. I'll game, right? What are you doing?
But I'm not gaming. I'm doing.
So what do you do?
I'm doing like basically scholarly work.
I know you're stuck at home as well.
Scholarly
academic
type stuff. Problem solving.
You're not doing shit.
I'm solving
All
problems
you
for the
do
world.
is chase old people out of the park and do your bloody rings in the middle of the park and you fight all these old people. That's all you do.
Yeah,
We see it. I see you, man.
There's a lot of rings
I
in
see
parks.
you.
A lot of park
The old
rings.
people are
Yeah.
the old people are a little are probably able to
No.
take me. To be honest,
No,
they
you
have
chase
numbers.
people away. You're gonna go on the news for chasing old people away from the park. Oh shit, Alan, are you okay?
Excuse me, I got the sneezes. I'm okay. I'm gonna
You know,
survive.
getting the sneezes in this point in time, it's not very good.
He's fully vaccinated.
No,
He's fine.
no kind of sickness or illness. I am
Has
fully
it passed through
vaccinated.
the 5G?
Keyshawn, are you vaccinated?
No, not yet. I'm not past the age limit yet. So I think they vaccinated Justin Bretton's age and up.
Yeah.
Anything below that is not yet.
In fact, that's how they stated it in the notice. It
Yeah.
said from Justin Bratton age
Friends
and
age
above.
and up.
No, what I was going to ask you guys is there vaccine hesitancy in Singapore? Because I think I was talking to one of my friends out there who said they're not pushing people to get vaccinated. But maybe
I think in Singapore what they're doing is it's very voluntary. Like if you want it, you get it. But they are encouraging all the older folks to please get it because they're at a higher risk. But now children are also at a higher risk, so they're trying to roll it out faster. I think they don't want to force it, but at the same time, they just want to get everybody vaccinated as fast as possible. We already had our second major outbreak right now, and they're trying to calm it
Well,
down.
let's
when they
let's
say
pump
major,
the
like
let's
how
pump
major?
the brakes on major outbreak.
No, it kind of is. I like to look at it as a major outbreak because we had the highest recorded cases since June 2020. We are on a heightened alert. Yes, we're not locking down yet, but I think we should call it a major outbreak so that everybody just stays home and tries to get vaccinated as fast as possible. A bit of fear works, but it's also
Such a Singaporean
I've locked
response.
myself out. Yeah. I am Singaporean. What else would I respond as? Would I be Jamaican? No.
hopefully.
Could you repeat that answer as a Jamaican?
No.
No,
Please don't do that.
cannot, man. No, not happening. No, I don't know what accent is that also, but it's okay.
The Jamaican
It's too
one.
early in the morning, yeah lah.
It's 11:20.
But yeah, but no, I'm afraid. I want everybody to get vaccinated as fast as possible. I'm trying to get mine as well. Has there been any cases in the US where someone vaccinated got the virus?
Oh yeah, so people can get
course.
the virus after getting vaccinated. That happens. It's
Right, it's like a
going to
10%
happen.
chance of it, right?
Not 10%.
5% chance.
It's not.
It's
a
like
small
5%. But I mean, it's possible. That's
okay.
kind of how vaccines for
It
this
is
type of
possible.
virus work. You can still get it. So people that are
I
freaking
feel
out
like the
about
government
this
spoke
are
for
morons.
Are you talking about yourself or?
Yeah, Justin, what are you talking? People are freaking out about what? About the virus?
About people that are freaking out about the tiny percentage of people that are getting COVID again after they get a vaccine.
oh,
silly.
Oh, I see.
Those people.
No, but you would still have that small amount of fear, lah, right? Even if you get vaccinated or not.
If you do get it, it's going to be way less of an issue, right? So, because the symptoms are going to be far less likelihood of having, death or whatever else.
So that's the main thing about the vaccine is that the main reason we're taking it is not to keep us from getting the virus. Although it does help you, help bolster your immune system from getting the virus. But
True.
predominantly we're taking it just so we don't get sick and die from it. Like the idea is that if I'm vaccinated, so if I get the virus, I'm gonna be okay. It's not necessarily to make sure I don't get the virus.
It's also harder to spread it. If you get the virus and the less your symptoms are, it's harder to spread it. So if you're asymptomatic, it is far more difficult to spread the virus than if you have crazy symptoms.
Are you sure you don't work for Ministry of Manpower?
Oh no, they wouldn't be telling you that. They'd be telling you
Do
that.
you think the Ministry of Manpower would hire Justin?
Yeah,
that
with the way he spoke like that.
I mean, I'm thinking of running for politics.
government-
I'm thinking of running for office.
You should.
Getting into politics.
Let me tell you this: you have my vote.
No. Would you do that, Keyshawn? Would you run for politics?
Me? No. Never.
Why?
I mean, I like politics. I like reading up on it, but
Yeah.
I don't want to take that burden of having to reply to constant Singaporean complaints because I'm one of them. I do the complaints, so I know how the complaints go. So I don't want to be on the receiving end of that. Singaporeans just need to learn how to be nice once in a while. Like my MP came to my house, and I just looked at him in the face and I said, "Thank you for your service, but the pavement you put down below my block was terrible. You put the pebbles in the concrete and the pebbles are coming out, and then all the old people are slipping and falling down. But you know what? Thank you, sir, because not many people tell you that. So, and he was grateful for that. It was constructive feedback. He had a team come down, and the entire team was like, "Oh my God, isn't that the guy from WahBanana?" And then he's like, "Oh, I have never seen that before." I was like, "We're getting along just fine, man."
So, which of your projects do you get recognized from most? WahBanana or whatever else you do?
Unfortunately, it's the channel where I do the worst, lousiest work I've ever done in my life, which is WahBanana. I get recognized for that. I get recognized for those. I get
What's-
recognized for those videos.
So, just so we can have this on record, what is lousy about WahBanana?
I'm not saying WahBanana is lousy. I'm talking about my work. My
okay.
lousiest work is done on that channel.
Why? What makes
I don't
it
act on
the
that channel because
lousiest?
I act. I want to act. I like to act. So I would like people to watch the TV shows that I have done, and then I don't know whether you noticed, but me and Alan were on a TV show together. That was
I do.
Fun Times, bro. I wish they did season 2.
I wish,
man.
I really wish.
Season 2.
I wish there was a
was
season 2 of
glitch.
any show I did ever.
Anything. Anything
I
right
think
now.
we hardly do.
Anything.
I want. Yeah, no, I can't. I think I forgot how to act. But you know, people just recognize me more from WahBanana because that reaches the audience more. But I call it my mental asylum. I just go there and make fun of everybody. I just make fun of the content and just go crazy. But I want to get back to acting. It's been a year. I just finished a show actually.
What was the show?
So after
What show?
it was
Yeah,
called
tell
Cutting
us.
Edge. It's called Cutting Edge. It's not out yet. The telecast is delayed due to COVID. I don't know why they're pushing back the show. I play a salon manager, so it's like Devil Wears Prada. So I kind of like in between Stanley Tucci's character and Meryl Streep. So that was good. I got to dye my hair.
Oh,
so that's
my
quite
god. Oh my god. Stanley Tucci and Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
That is Keyshawn. That's Keyshawn. It's him. Meryl Streep and Stanley Tucci. I see it. I see it perfectly.
I wish. But when it's out, I'll let you know. When it's out, I can't say much about it, but when it's out, I'll let you know. It's quite a fun show.
Keyshawn, no.
Oh.
I wanted to talk about acting specifically just because it's something that all three of us really love doing. And specifically about the type of characters you do, because WahBanana, the type of acting you would do on WahBanana would be totally different than the type of acting you might do in Glitch, which was the show that we got to do together, or which would be totally different from, say, a drama, right? And in you play characters, like big comic characters, but then, you know, not every show can withstand the same size of character. Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you figure out what size of comedy to put, or what size of character to put in a show? Because your characters kind of can be big or small.
I myself get confused sometimes about how big, how small. When do you let the script be the comedy? When do you go into physical comedy? Whereas for online content, it's slapstick, right? So you go bigger, you go louder, you make it more exaggerated, you just make it funnier per se, or just it's just mainly exaggerating one big word. So you know, for like YouTube, you're gonna do expression like or you know. But then when you go back on TV, you dial that back down. You go. You never know, right? If you watch Jim Carrey, if I were to throw him on YouTube, I think he'd be the same guy, right? He's already so loud. So when do you choose to follow your personality versus what they call in acting now naturalism, right? Be natural about it. I have had feedback about my audition tapes going, why don't you go bring it down, be natural about it. I was like, if I bring it down and I be natural about it, then you lose my comedic timing, you lose my personality. But I get it sometimes. Some TV shows, the world is such, the script is such, so you bring your character down. But whereas for comedy, right, it's either you are a comedian who's being yourself, playing that comedic role, or you are in somebody else's shoes and you're building that comedy for that character. Did that make sense?
Say that again. I think I get it, but rephrase. So either go ahead.
So it's either you are a driving personality, whereas I'm like this in every show. This is my comedy. This is who I am. If you hire me, you know that's going to be me in each show. Jim Carrey is Jim Carrey in most shows. Maybe he dials it even way up or way down. Melissa McCarthy is Melissa McCarthy in most shows. She has
like Aziz Ansari,
yeah.
right? Like Aziz Ansari in Master of None. He's gonna give you
The Aziz comedy
right?
flow, like Kevin Hart. Sometimes they play characters, and I think those performances are really good. But whereas comedy, where it's comedy built for the character, so you're changing yourself. For like the salon manager when I played in the Cutting Edge, his version of comedy is very different. He's very sassy, he's very bitchy, he's very, in his moments, and he has flamboyance about it. So now you got to build comedy for that, for somebody else. So it's not you per se. You're building it for the character because, when you be flamboyant, how could you be comedic with that? But I at times especially with Singapore comedy, I would love to actually just be myself and do it and build a name that way. But there have been some good scripts where you just want to develop something new and build comedy for somebody else. If that made sense, I think it does. If you play this backlot,
It
slowly.
did. No, but I feel like you've already made a name for yourself doing your own style of comedy. I feel like you've pretty well established that for yourself with all the roles and YouTube that you've done.
There have been some shows where I wish I got it, or I wanted to try something new, and yes, I've only ever done comedy, and then I had one serious film come out, which was Chloe, and I think to date, that is my best acting performance I've ever done. To me, I mean, because I really felt for the guy. It was my first serious role. There was nothing comedic about it.
Did you find that more challenging to do a serious role?
It was extremely challenging. It was nuts because I had to kill myself. I had to kill all ounce of comedy because this guy that I played, he was the total opposite of what I am, which was fun and loving. He wasn't. He was depressed. He was a bit deranged. He was giving up on his job. He lived in a terrible house, dirty. So I actually asked the art department to give me pictures of what his room would look like, so that I could dress my room to look like him and live just like him, so that I walk out of my house feeling like him, and I just show up on the set and I do the scenes and I come back home, because I just find it easier to be in character all the way than to have to go up on set, because every time I'm on set, I worked with a crew who's worked with me before.
Yeah.
And on comedies. And on the first day of film, they would come out to be like, "Hey, Kishan, how's it going?" But I was like, all deranged. And I was like, "Don't talk to me, get out of my face." And everybody was afraid. It was nice to see that. And everybody gave me my space. Nobody disturbed me. And nobody wanted to talk to me for the first time. And that was a fun experience to do. And then I, had to smoke.
Nice. Were you smoking real cigarettes?
Yeah, I was.
Wow.
So I don't smoke. I started smoking for the show, just for the show, and I stopped right after.
As a non-smoker myself, I know if I have a cigarette, that immediately affects me. And that, I mean, you'll definitely get into character, right? Did you find it difficult to act while you were smoking?
No, so I had a 3-month head start before we started filming. So I had all the scripts 3 months before. This production company was hands down by far the most professional production company I've ever worked with. Also, they gave me 3 months to prepare.
Damn.
So I had time. So I set up a smoking corner. Because he sleeps with an ashtray in his room, and I had to get used to that smell, and then especially get it on my fingers, on my clothes. So I would smoke in the morning as I read my script, and then so when I get on set, I would smoke before I take. Yeah, it was quite fun.
Keyshawn,
Any health concerns?
Yeah. I'm so sorry about this delay. Poor Alan asked a question.
Sorry, go, Alan.
I'll moderate lah. Alan, I'll
Your
take
turn,
at
Alan.
this point in time. Alan.
Okay. No. Thank you, Justin, for giving me the space to speak. Now I appreciate that. What I was gonna say is that I've talked to a few different actors who picked up smoking or practice smoking specifically for a character, and I'm glad that you did it as well. Not because I don't want you to pick up smoking, obviously, it's dangerous, but man, does it bother me when I see an actor who's using a cigarette incorrectly in a scene, and you can just tell that they do not know what they're doing. Or they're holding it in a way that a character who's comfortable with a cigarette would never hold it, right? And there's a way of holding a cigarette that looks effortless sometimes. and like it's almost just it's dripping off your fingers, right? And that's something I feel like
Yeah.
you only get through practice. It's interesting.
Or just observation. Just watch smokers. Like I spend time. I mean, everybody on the crew, most of the crew smokes, right? I don't know why everybody's stressed on set, but you watch them and then you know the way they smoke. Some of them cover their whole face with a cigarette here. Some of them do this. Some of them do this, and then even when their hands are down, like on the side, you get that they have that natural two finger out. You know, ready to pull out the next cigarette. And I was like, oh, that's quite cool. When I walk, I want to have that fingers on the side, and you know. And then you also got to get used to that coarse voice that comes with it, or that phlegm that builds up. So, how you know he's a chain smoker? You know, that's when you get that voice coming out, or you get the makeup artist to make your lips a bit more darker, or you get the eye bags going. I refused makeup on the show. I just told her make me look uglier, and she put like dirt around the eyes, and then just made me look a bit more. When smokers chain smoke, they become
Gaunt.
dirty.
Yeah, like I know what you mean.
Dirty. Dirty is the word. I don't know what the best word is. Just dirty. It's like gunk and yellow.
Did you have to do
But
any...
have you done smoking roll?
I've done one for a short film
What?
that I did, but I wasn't smoking that much on really in any of the scenes. It was just like a couple shots.
So you wouldn't do another smoking roll? Or?
I would totally do it. Yeah, for sure. Hey, I hate to say it, smoking looks cool. Don't smoke, kids.
It does.
It does.
No, don't smoke.
But don't smoke.
It does.
But
It does.
It does look cool.
It does. Yeah, it does. It does. Especially if they light it nicely and then you blow the smoke out and then you get that nice light with the smoke. It's fantastic. But it was
Yeah.
for screen lah. But I mean, in Hollywood they have a special cigarette. No, that's what I read about somewhere. It's like tea leaves
Yeah,
or something like that, so that you don't get the nicotine or you
Yeah.
don't get
Fake cigarettes.
whatever. Is that true?
Yeah.
We should have that here,
I mean, they have them in Bangkok as well. Like, they're around.
but they should have it in Singapore. Lah.
So everybody here has to smoke
But-
for real on camera.
No, so here's the fun part, right? You are not allowed to show smoking on camera.
What?
Okay.
I know. So my character smokes. He's a chain smoker, right? So there's a lot of scenes where I start off, right, already putting it out. Or like I'm halfway through and I'm turning my back to the camera and then putting it out. So because they don't want to advocate smoking in Singapore at all. So there's a lot of times where a lot of smoking scenes, I would do 2 takes, right? One, I would smoke on camera. And then I do a second take where it's, slightly away from camera and I'm putting it out. So that the restrictors or whatever you call them decides what to take and what not. So they went for the safest bet lah, which is not show the cigarette. I got to say my first F word, if that counts, on a TV
Oh.
show. I said, I mean, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the TV show, I die. And before I die,
Big spoiler alert.
big spoiler. Before I mean, yeah, it might captivate you to watch how I die, lah. But before I die, I go fuck, right? So I did 2 takes of those. It was fun to say, and then when the show came out,
They cut it out,
I was
huh?
like, where's the fuck? That was what I was looking for. I wanted to clip that part. Where they cut it out? They say it was too.
Too fucky.
Too fucking.
I think we need change, man. I think we need to go. I cannot laugh. Fuck.
Yeah.
Right, can I just say on this podcast? Can
Yeah,
I say?
say it. Keyshawn,
You
you
can say
have
fuck.
as much rain as you want. You can say it. Fuck, 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 fuck.
Yes. Just yes. In this podcast we'll do, and then I'll just go fuck. Yes.
I had an F word also cut out of one of my shows in Singapore. And it was the first time I ever got to say F word fuck on camera, and they cut it out also. Never made the final take.
Yeah. There's just something orgasmic about the word fuck. It's like you're letting out steam. It's like a sigh, But fuck. Like, oh. Yes.
As an actor, it's very useful because it can mean so many things, and it's very impactful and powerful curse words. Which it's a shame that they can't be used a little bit more here.
Yeah. In time, as we
So
progress as a nation.
as a mainstay here in the acting scene in Singapore, what are you actively doing to help change things for the better?
Wow, That is a weighty question right there. That is.
What can I do?
Woo. I'm sweating from that question, Justin.
We await
I
your
mean-
response.
Oh,
That's a big question.
yeah.
That is a big question. I need some time to think about this one. One, I can't do anything. Right? It's not also not up to me. We have people who sit on top of the board, deciding what is good and what is bad for our audiences in Singapore. They take charge. The actors just come in and they do their job. But what I try to do with my performances is just try to push the boundaries of what makes the cut, what doesn't make the cut, how I perform, how I'm told to perform. For example, like for the flamboyant salon manager, I wanted to push the slight flamboyance of the character. I was already told to tone down the flamboyance because we can't really have an LGBTQ character on the show, but we want to try and show that he is, and I'm like, there's no trying to show, that is showing it, there's being their character. You don't tell me to tone down on the flamboyance, but you meet them on the middle ground and see how much you can push. So you what you do with the characters, you make him a typical Singaporean closet gay, like when how does he behave at home compared to how does he behave outdoors in a public setting. Most gay men who are in the closet, if you go and study how they behave at home, it's all out. I just want to be me, I want to be flamboyant. And then when you go out, oh, I need to act professional. So I tried to show that in the film. Or when it comes to Singapore, we have this thing called the CMIO objective, where it's Chinese, Malay, Indian, and others, that all these 4 races have to be in the film. What I've tried to do is, unfortunately, my mother tongue is the most atrocious thing you ever hear, so I can't even speak Tamil properly. So I've never done a Vasantham channel show. So what I've tried to do is, every time they have an Indian role for an English drama, everybody expects it to be like the token role. Like you have to be like the Indian man for that role. Thankfully, what I've done and what most directors have trusted me to do is, they just let me be. They hired me, of course they also hired me because, okay, good, it's Indian, but let Kishan do it because I know he'll do it in a very different way. So I've tried to do that most of the time, where I'm trying to show brown people that, hey, you can do an English show, but you don't have to play the token role. You can do it the way you want to, and build a character that is comfortable to you. You can be, you have that creativity to define your character and how you want to play in your race and how you roll. You can develop your own backstory. You can do whatever you want. So, and I'm lucky enough to do that, and I'm lucky enough and allowed to do that. I had roles changed for me. I had scripts rewritten because the lead was a Chinese guy. They're letting me do it, which was quite fun, and quite privileged to know that people want to do that for me. So I think in that way I've pushed the boundaries. But if you're talking about restrictions and how we can move forward in industry, that's a tough one. That's not up to me, man. Like, if I could hold meetings with our broadcaster MediaCorp, with a bunch of directors to sit down, script writers to sit down, I would love to do that. I actually would like to speak to my MP, because he's apparently in charge of media in Singapore. He actually owns Timber Plus. He's like the owner of Timber Plus, and he's like a big advocate of the music scene. So if he can do that, why not do it for film, right? Why not? So I was like, after this COVID situation, I'll just mark myself down and have a conversation and buy him a cup of coffee and go, here's a cookie. Can you let us do our thing? Can you get it?
I would like to be there for that meeting. Invite me.
If you come, that meeting is just, they're gonna ask me to get out. Let me do the first one, and then if it fails, I'll call you, Justin.
It's because I'm not
You know
from
what
here,
it is.
isn't it? That's what it is.
No, it's the voice. It's the voice.
Is it the voice?
Because if you start talking, they're gonna think you're gonna try and rule the world. So it's like, no, just let me do it first. Let me do the brother. Oh, brother. Hey, brother, you Singapore, you Singapore. Let's just meet the middle ground. Then when you start talking, it's like, shit. No, we're not gonna let him win. No, it's not happening. No.
Because you're so talented, Keyshawn, you have been able to kind of create some kind of groundbreaking roles for people that are Indian here in Singapore and kind of branch out. Prior to you being acknowledged as being a person that could do that, what were the hurdles that you felt these racial quotas and you being Indian were? What were those things that you had to overcome?
I don't know, man. I feel like after my first two performances, the roles kept coming in, and
Yeah.
people just saw after the first two roles like he made it a bit different. Oh, let's try him out. How can he take this role to the next level? Or how can he be different? I guess what they liked or what they saw after my first few performances was how different. When I first started, people just thought, oh, he's just gonna be another one of those. Many interviews, and something I will never forget was I remember my first time acting Tangling. Yeah, you will remember this show, Justin.
Yeah.
That's my first show. Yeah. You were only for a brief
Brief.
period of time.
Nothing I did ever aired.
And I first role, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I played the Indian role, the Indian friend, and then I was standing behind the monitor, and this AD who was watching the monitor, she didn't know I was behind her, and she was just looking at the monitor, going, "Oh my God, this guy can't fucking act." And I was standing behind her, and she didn't know, and then I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh," and then she turns behind, and she's like, "Yeah, yeah, I said what I said, that was the face. I said what I said," and then, but it was because of her, that I locked myself up in a room and I tried to rebrand the way I started acting, and I'm gonna go study a bit more. And then fast forward that she was the AD for that serious role that I did, and then I think after the first or second day, she pulled me aside and she said, "Now you can fucking act." And I was like, "Yes, yes," So hurdles, not much.
Yeah.
I think the job is a hurdle itself.
Yeah.
You go for these auditions. You sometimes you don't know what they want. You just come in with 5 different versions, and then you think you did your best, and then the next thing you know, they call you and say, "Oh, you didn't get the part," or they never tell you like why or what's the option. I think this job is a hurdle, man. You never know when it comes. Like there were years that I had like 4 shows, in a year, and then now what? I did one in 2019. I did one in 2020. I mean, COVID lah. What can we do?
Yeah.
And then you audition for a few things, and then not every day you get the role, right? It's not. Sometimes you read a script and you go, okay, this is not for me, and as much as you're an actor going, I can play any role, I can be versatile, but then there's so many other factors. So that's the hurdle. Whether you look the part, whether you act the
Yeah.
part, whether you sound the part, or whatever shit lah. I don't know, like these guys. I don't have to tell you this. You guys know this.
The job being the hurdle makes a lot of sense to me, and I think that that's something that maybe people who haven't tried making this their main career haven't seen before, is that the day in and the day out of an actor's career is brutal. And people think that the acting job is about that awesome moment you get to have in front of the camera, and it is. We do so much just to get to have that moment. Like,
Yeah.
that's not like, it's a privilege to be able to get to do that part of it. It's all the other stuff, the auditioning, the headshots, the craft, the rejections, the callbacks, the negotiations. Like, there's so much other stuff to it. And I appreciate it, man. That's
People
the
just see
hurdle.
the pretty part of the business lah.
Yeah.
People just see the he got the role, he's just gonna be handsome on film, but you don't see the struggle of fighting other people for the job, or that struggle with creating that beautiful character that you're gonna go audition for, and then after that, you get the calls, and then it's not only down to the calls, it's down to whether your rates are good. If your rates are not good, you might not even get the part. Whether you're available, you're not available. There's so much shit for a job, but I think at this point anybody will just fight for the job. Like, you just take me now. I don't care what the role is.
Yeah, because
in our
there's
current times,
no work.
there's practically nothing. Yeah, in a way, there is
Yeah.
no work. There's also work to be done. In this point in time, where especially when you got all this free time, you can work on yourself, branch into new avenues. My manager's kicking my ass, going, "Where the heck's your content? You're sitting on your ass watching TV every day." But watching TV every day is actually very useful, because I mean, you're in LA, right? LA.
I am.
So I'm trying to make plans to like send my profile over. So if you got any, links.
If I had the links,
I'd drop
Keyshawn,
them.
I'd be working. But
Yeah.
I'd be more than
Yeah,
happy to pass your resume along to the people that I that are good enough to think that I'm worth talking to.
Nice.
Yeah,
I mean, any step is a good step,
absolutely.
because
Any door.
I've been seeing a lot of South Asian actors, Indian actors, right, join the big screen, or most Netflix TV shows. So I thought maybe I could try for that market. But you see, here comes the other factor, right? Why should we hire this boy down from Singapore when we already have Indian actors with the green card or the EPs already in LA and ready to work? So you see, that's the struggle of acting: time, place, what you do, where
Yeah.
you are, how you speak.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So,
Justin and I had to put
make
ourselves.
do lah, make do.
We had to go through those steps that you would have to do to be in California, right? We have to go through those steps to work in Singapore too, and that's a whole other part of it, right?
So what was that process like, man? Was that tough, moving to another country to find a job?
Justin.
I mean, for me, like I was kind of already doing stuff in Bangkok, and so I moved to Singapore to do TV hosting. When I got here, I didn't get a TV hosting gig for my first gig didn't happen for a year, and so I got it all through networking. Like I wasn't signed with anybody. I had no management, no agent. I didn't trust anyone, and so it was all through networking. It was just meeting the right people, and then when you go in for the audition, being good enough. But yeah, that year was scary. It was really scary because I was just doing small little modeling gigs here and there, and all the money I'd saved up when I was in Bangkok just saw it kind of going down as I was in Singapore, spending like 3 times the amount of money, doing less work. So yeah, that was kind of a struggle. I mean, obviously, I'm glad I did it. It paid off. But yeah, and then obviously navigating the immigration stuff as well was an issue. I got very fortunate with an immigration guy that kind of just knew what was up and just made it happen for me. So that was very lucky.
Isn't it?
So that whole
'Cause I've been trying. I've been making plans.
I
What?
mean,
Sorry.
Keyshawn, that whole immigration thing, it's one of the reasons why I came back to California because I got to this point where I was like, well, I have to go through a lot of extra work just to make myself available to be hired in Singapore. And I don't have to, here in California, I don't have to go through all that. And then, there's so many actors around the world who would love to come to LA and just try to work. And
Right.
and the green card is a barrier for it. And in my head, I was like, wow, lots of actors want to do something that because I was born in America, I can just do without going through, all that work of getting my own employment pass in Singapore. So it's just like those barriers and those hurdles they're tough sometimes.
Shit. But what do you think about being in Singapore and then trying to get jobs in LA? Like, do you think that works? Like getting managers, just sending them your profile. If there's work or there's auditions. Now with the whole online technology, I can audition from here, and then send it through, right? Then if I do get the job, then I fly over. Is there such a thing?
I'm going to go, I mean, Alan, I don't know what your take on this is, but from what my understanding of it is, like you could be a pretty fucking big name across Asia and that not be enough. You have to be there in LA. They want you to be there. They want to know that you're going to live there, that you're going to be based there before they even talk to you. And then I think if you can get an agent that you've done stuff with for like a year or two, and then you decide to start spending more time in Singapore, and you develop that relationship with them, then they would be like, yeah, we'll call you in and you can do things remotely. But you've got to be in LA for a while to develop that. I think there's always, caveats here and there, and but for the most part,
I think Justin, for the most part, he's right. I mean, he and I both have been wanting to create this avenue or this conduit back and forth between LA and Singapore, right? Because it doesn't really exist yet. But some people have been able to make the jump, right? But because of other circumstances, right? Henry Golding got a good opportunity and he crushed it and he knocked it out of the park, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's the weird thing that I have found, or not weird, but something I have found about auditions here in LA is that they happen really last minute compared to Singapore auditions. I know that sounds crazy because a lot of Singapore auditions are super last minute, right? Sometimes it's like, oh, we need to fill it here. But I'm finding that a lot of the auditions I get, sometimes it's like you need to be available like in the next 4 or 5 days. or else it's not even,
What?
like a reason. Yeah, and I think it's just a thing where there's so much talent out here that they never have problems finding someone good enough last minute.
I mean, yeah, lah.
You
It's
know,
LA, lah.
they just have
Everybody's
to
an
put.
actor
I
in
mean,
LA.
yeah. Think about the ocean and how many fish are in the sea here. They just have to put their hook in the
Yeah.
water and they'll
Yeah.
pull a fish out, right? So they're not worried
Yeah.
about needing to have enough time to find it. So because of that, you may send in an audition tape and they may love you, but if you're in Singapore and they're filming in the next couple of days, it might not be possible. Which is why Justin was saying that they want to know people are here in LA. So but also this is just guessing on our part. We're trying our best.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
man, I don't even know what's happening to Singapore right now with the media industry. I'm like, what's next? You know, what's coming on? You know, the whole year since, I mean, I'm lucky enough to have jobs, right? Touch wood.
Good.
That's
Good for you.
since phase one of the lockdown. I've been helping the government out, spread the word of COVID, and spread all this the budget and the vaccine and all that. So you know, thankful for that. But I'm an actor. I need to act. You know, I'm about to lose it, and I lose my drive if I don't have a script in my hand. So I'm like,
have you
as much as I'm getting work, I want the work. You know.
have you started writing yourself?
No, see, I you know, I think there's one thing about me that I realize, and I think that's also one of the many reasons I don't do stand-up comedy as well, and I only do comedic performances, because I feel like if you give me a script and I read it, I'm a person who can make it better. Like
Right.
I can explode it even bigger for you. Like I can conceptualize an idea, but I would like to give that idea to somebody else, and then you give it back to me, and then I will explode it for you. So I'm like I don't know what, there's a term for it. I don't know what the term. I can't remember, but
I think it's lazy.
I feel like
Don't
no,
Justin
no, no, no.
hurt.
No, I just can't do the whole, you know, the dialogue, blah blah.
Yeah.
You know, you write it, and then I work with somebody who has the patience to write. I just don't. I want to perform the lines. I want to make it better. I want to work with you on set. I don't know.
What would you ever consider
I mean,
directing?
we tried, right? Hey, yeah, actually, yeah. I would do that. I would like to get a script in my hand and then explode it and then direct. I would like to direct some comedic stuff, because I think I worked with a couple of comedic directors which I absolutely admire, which was very fun, because especially the new age directors. You see, the new age directors understand that everybody is here to do their job. You know, I'm not going to command you to do what I need you to do. It's a dialogue, right? It's what can you bring to the table, and then what I see. So I worked with some of them going, here's how I feel the comic timing should be. But you as the comedian, how do you see this scene? How can we come to a middle ground? How can we make this better? See, these dialogues I live for. Because I'm here to do my job as an actor. You're here to direct. You have a vision, I have a vision, and then we come and meet. Whereas, you know, some older school directors, they have their they have their timing, right? I want to see this. And then you're like a robot, and then you come and deliver, and then you don't even know whether you are performing as yourself or for them. But today's directors, I think they're fantastic. They listen to you. They go, how do you see it, and how do I see it? So that's what I want to do. If I was directing a comedic show, I'll get all this bunch of comedians to sit down. We would read the scene before, and then we see where we can input what, and then we go. And then, because the best moments will come when it's not on script, man. I want to hear those. I want to hear those lines. I want to hear the lines that you come up with, and those punchlines that you come up with. Like Fast and Furious, there was a line. I don't know where I remember this. The Rock came up with it halfway. Tyrese Gibson goes, "Hide your baby oil," when The Rock was walking into the scene, and then The Rock just went into the whole thing like, "Hey, hide your forehead, lah." And then I was like, and then apparently that wasn't even in the script, and I was like, you see, those lines are good.
So
You need those lines, and then like, you don't have.
do you feel like you're starting to be able to do that more here in Singapore, improv a bit?
Yes. I mean, once they trust you, and once they know that, actually he knows what he's talking about. He knows his context. He knows where is what. He's not changing the line. He's not changing the context of the scene that will lead to the other scene. He knows when to put in what. But I think I've done that too many times, and a lot of the directors are afraid now. So they're like,
Oh.
no. Kishan, no. Kishan, like, they know every time they see me jumping with the script, like, hey, I have an idea. What do you think of this? Okay, I'll hear you out, but we don't really have the time for that. We don't, they know I'm coming in with something new. They know.
Coming
But
in
I
hot.
think they're afraid now. Like the recent show, the guy, yeah, they're like, no, no, let's not do that. Let's just do this. And I'm like, yeah, like, what to do?
It's so
Afraid. People are
funny.
afraid of me.
It's so funny because different actors are different when it comes to either improvising or sticking to the script specifically. And you mentioned The Rock. Um,
Mm.
so, Hobbs and Shaw? It was kind of like the spin off where Jason Statham and The Rock got to play like the two leads.
Yeah,
So, apparently,
yeah.
I got a chance to interview The Rock, and apparently The Rock is 100, not like 100%, but mostly loves to improv his lines. He's like, I do not like to be on
Nice.
script. But apparently Jason Statham has to be on script. He's like
Ah.
super serious about being like word for word perfect. So like the two of them
Wow.
working together apparently was like super chaotic because The Rock would be throwing stuff at him constantly, and Statham would be like just trying to keep it all within this box.
Oh
It's,
shit.
it's funny,
Oh,
but it
okay,
turned out
okay,
great.
okay.
The movie looks good because you know what? That kind of falls into their characters in a way.
I guess the director would have to work with them, or the script writers would have to work with them, or help Jason Statham keep up with The Rock, and also The Rock had to keep in mind, that whatever line he throws, it doesn't change the context of the film. So when it comes to improv, improv is actually a big responsibility because you don't want to change anything. You don't want to, and then the script writers also has worked for years or months maybe on the script, and I heard in Hollywood, they don't like it when you change the script because that is what I wrote. This is what I want you to say. You have any input, we'll think about it. Not you think about it, I will think whether you should say it or not.
Yeah, I think for the most part that's definitely accurate. But at the same time, like I've heard from some different casting directors and people that, often the people that get some of these big auditions are people that do something a little bit different than everybody else, and they throw a bit of a curveball. The thing is, it either works or it doesn't work. But if it works,
No.
could pay off
But-
big. If it doesn't work, they may never want to see you again.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, no, he would never want to see. I mean, just imagine this, right? If I was the casting director and I gave you an audition script, you're not the only one I'm seeing,
Yeah.
I'm seeing hundreds of people, right? And each of them are just doing the scripts. They're just doing what they're told to do, or they're doing what they think is right. And I've seen it. I've seen it all. I've seen 100. But where's this one person who's just gonna go off the bat? Where? So I tell a lot of my friends this, and I say when you go into audition, make it your own.
Yeah.
Make it different. Make it see what they don't see. See something far beyond the line. Add your lines. Add your expressions. If it just goes off, just do it. Even if it's wrong, just do it.
Yeah.
Because it might be different. People might see something else. And I tell you, most of the time, these people get hired.
Yeah.
Most of the
I
time.
totally agree. Actually, my thing with auditions is go off script. Don't change the meaning of the scene, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, go off script on auditions for the exact reason that Keyshawn is saying is that these people have seen the exact same scene done 100,000 times. But then when it comes to filming, I don't usually go off script without telling. Like I would never surprise a director and throw a line in front of the camera without telling him first that I wanted to try it, right? So like I improv for no, not improv. I go off script for auditions, but then for shoot day, I don't do it quite as much.
Yeah. No. I think they call it acting etiquette. Like you don't throw a line that you didn't rehearse. You don't throw a gesture or whatever that you didn't rehearse, or because it's always just nice to tell your partner on scene like, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. How do you feel about it? Right? It's just nice to do that. But sometimes, in the moment, things happen, right? You get lost in the scene. Maybe your partner does it to you, or you do it to your partner, and that's just the respect that you have with your co-star and with your director. But I will always say, try to rehearse it, or try to come with ideas. Don't just pop it on set and go blah blah blah. What do you think of this? But then you've already done 2 to 3 takes. So try to do it before.
I think it's also about knowing the people you're working with. Like, what are they cool with? What are they going to be ready for? And what are they not? As well as what kind of film is this? I think for a lot of comedies seem to be easier to just kind of improv, and especially if you're working with somebody else that can pick up where you left off, it can be really beneficial to a scene. Whereas if you're working with somebody like a Rock and Jason Statham scenario, could be a really bad play.
No, I've worked with actors like that. Like I've worked with some in Singapore where I need to stick to the script. I need to hear that last word being said, and then I come in, and I don't really know how to play with you, and so with actors like this who already forthcomingly tell you, I need to stick to the script. Could you please help me out? And you stick to the script as well, and maybe we can work. So that's when you take it upon yourself to okay, I would not go crazy on this set with you, and we try and work within your means as well, because if he looks good, you look good. If he's following the script and you go crazy, sometimes you look like you are doing the bad job.
Yeah.
And he's sticking to it, so it's that compromise. If you both play, beautiful. If one plays, someone has to give and take. It's a dance between two. The film is never solo unless you're doing a one-man show lah. But film, you can never, like the both of you. I think you guys complement each other when you host. When I think Justin Bratton, I think Alan Wong. When I think Alan Wong, I think
actually Justin insults me. He doesn't compliment me at all. He insults me every chance he gets.
I'm so sorry.
It's just, it hurts.
That's the relationship.
It hurts,
I guess.
Justin.
The dynamic. I'm a slave to the dynamic.
It is
that
the
we have.
But it's good. You see, that dynamic is great. I honestly haven't found. Actually, I have. I don't know whether you know. WahBanana has this lady called Priscilla Lim, CC Lim. She's like my partner in crime. She's the best co-host you could find because she compliments the way I talk. But I think the two of you have branded yourself very well.
Keyshawn, like, what would be your ideal scenario for the rest of this year to occur?
What do you mean?
Like, what do you want?
Let's just get this
happen?
whole shit over. I want this whole shit over and done with. What are you talking about? I want to go back to life. Where's life? I want to get out. I want to meet my friends again. I want to take my mask off. I want to run around. I want to scream back in public, which I love doing. I can't do that now.
So you can,
but,
you can,
I want to.
You can easily come over here to my place and hang out.
Trust me, they'll arrest the both of us, man. We'll be spreading COVID for all you know. Just us screaming and laughing away.
Guys, just come to LA.
I've not left my house. It's
Come
been
to
2
LA.
weeks.
Come to LA. We're gonna be opened
Keyshawn,
up.
I would love to.
No more COVID in the U.S., so we can just go.
Yeah, we don't have it.
What rubbish you have lah? But I mean, you have something worse, and I'm a bit afraid of going to the U.S. I don't want to get punched in the face. With the whole Asian hate crime. So
Yeah.
oh,
That's
Alan Wong. So are you hiding the Wong in your name? Because Alan, no Asian hate crime. The moment you hear Wong,
Yeah,
Asian
I just
hate
go
crime.
by Alan W these days.
Yeah.
Also, I don't look as Chinese as my name does, so.
No, but who
Yeah.
cares? The moment you say I'm Wong, boom.
But it is ridiculous what's going on out here about that, though.
Right. So I think I'll take a
But
break.
I will say this.
I-
most Asians in the U.S. not getting physically assaulted.
I don't know, man. I watched the news.
Don't do that.
You just figure out what the media.
Media.
That's all I have. That's all I have to go on.
They're not showing you
What to
all the
do.
stories
But
of
I
the
want
Asians
life
that are
black.
not.
Yeah.
Please show me.
I'm just
Maybe
gonna
I
go
can
start
do something.
taking videos of some of my fellow local Asian Americans. Like, here is a local Asian American lady not getting shoved on the ground.
Not getting
Here's a
assaulted.
local
Thank
Asian
you.
American male
I
not
feel-
getting punched in the face. Here is a lovely Asian American girl right here not getting stomped on.
And then the beautiful part is the moment you put down the take, someone gets punched, and then we don't get to see it. It's like, why?
Well, because it's America.
Please. I want to come. I want to go. I have not visited America. Actually, my goal in life was by the age of 30. I turned 30 in 2 years. I wanted to be in the US by 30.
I think we can make this
But
happen.
now-
Keyshawn, you
At,
get out
at
here.
the
you
bare,
got
at the
people
bare
hang out.
minimum. Bare minimum as a tourist.
I would let you know.
Yeah,
Alan.
just-
But I don't know. I don't know how. What's going to happen, man, in the next 2 years? Singapore's not letting anybody travel out, until they fix this case. I don't even know whether US are taking in people from Singapore. I don't think anybody's just traveling for fun.
Oh, America takes people.
Americans?
From
That's not happening.
Sorry.
Yeah, Americans are going
America
everywhere.
literally take
Europe,
people are flying all
South
over the
America.
place.
No, but I from Singapore can't travel out for fun, what?
Yeah, you can.
Right.
You can,
No, I
come.
can't.
You can come to U.S. I mean, U.S. will let you. I don't know about Singapore.
Yeah, it's up to Singapore.
There, you see.
And it's you coming back
What am I
in,
going to
right?
do? I have to stay here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I have to pay. I have to pay like what 4 times. So I was like, I'll just look at a wallpaper of LA lah. I just put a wallpaper on my bloody laptop and I just like dream about it. And I was like, yes, I'm here. Then, oh look, it's Alan on my wallpaper. I feel so much at home.
Not going to be creeped out by that at all. In fact, if I would like to see a picture of me on your wall.
Yeah, I already have Justin
Yeah,
Batten.
okay.
Appreciate that.
This rabbi-looking thing at the back.
Okay
Okay
Are
lah.
we podcasting yet?
All right, man.
I don't know.
Are we?
Did
Are
you
we
record this
podcasting?
shit?